Hello and welcome to another weekly live stream. We're going to be continuing where we left off with my blue screen of death from last week. And I've taken some steps to mitigate that issue now, I hope. I have a backup computer that I can jump onto if this one blue screens. Alright, without further ado, let us go ahead and get started. Up in the lower left rather, you can see the patrons. They helped me keep the lights on. They helped me pay for a lift for my son last week when he needed a ride somewhere. It didn't turn out to matter since I blue screened. Then up in the upper left is the link to download the game, which will be more public in June when I cut a release in June. And so, excuse me. So I guzzled some things right before the thing. So let's go ahead and remember where we were last time. We were messing with some collision stuff with one of the mobs trying to get up and down stairs, and we determined that it was the body shape that was at issue. So I was going to fix that another time. I don't remember what I was in the middle of saying. I think we were about to start sort of turning the pathfinding itself into a body-specific strategy of some sort so that we could swap it out so that, you know, things that swim and fly would use a different kind of pathing than everything else. I've fixed a couple bugs in the meantime, but this is the 3D pathfinding operators is what we're talking about here. And so that is I fixed a bug because it's one of those things, all of the things we do, because I don't really take the time on these streams to do them thoroughly. So we play a little bit of whack-a-mole where we fix one problem and then we'll cause another one and so on and so forth. And so I'm trying to leave more notes behind on things that I actually need to fix the proper way. And as an example, what I ended up finding, I'll show you this is a good example. So if we take, let me put it back the way it was for a second. Let's put this back the way it was. And put this back the way it was. To show you the problem I was facing was I was noticing that creatures were trying to climb the walls when they should not be. So I'm going to use the Gafin as an example because he's also the one that then has an issue when I fix it. Okay, so if we try to just walk over here, arrive on the other side of this wall, he's going to hit the wall and he's going to fly up over, which looks kind of cool, but it's not the way it's supposed to work. And then, yeah, so he hits that and now he won't walk off the edge, right? Because he doesn't want to walk off the edge. And so I figured out by stepping through that what that was that, see, every time he hits a wall, he tries to jump up. He can't actually get to where he wants to go. Okay, there we go. What happened was, actually I can show you. Let's warp him over here. Pause the simulation. Arrive over here. Center on the thing, and we'll step. So what happens is, as soon as he hits that wall, see, the probe is not telling him to turn because this orange box is currently wired to do nothing, which is something I had stubbed out and meant to go back and do later. So he gets into here, and so he actually gets to the point where he hits the wall, and you can see it cast a ray down, and it found this intersection at the top of these blocks here. Because nothing counts as a collision, like when the cast point itself is inside of a block, it didn't count that as a collision, and so that's a problem. So I added in some code here that basically it's a hack, because the code we're calling to query the world for this ray hit should have detected the fact that the starting point is already inside the object and should have counted that as a hit right away. But it doesn't, and so I added this code in to do that. And so that was fine. Let's resume the simulation. We'll warp him over here. We'll pause the simulation again, and we'll arrive over here. And so now, actually we could just resume the simulation. So now he won't climb the walls, he'll go around them. But he does it in kind of a jerky way because that probe was not doing anything. Right? The probe is supposed to, there's something in front of me, I should steer away from it before I like hit it with my face, right? And so that was down here. We know that's a different block type, and so we ought to be able to steer away. And so I added this code in here that detects that particular thing and then basically falls through the default contact stuff and treats it like a blocker. And so what that means is that it's supposed to it's supposed to still allow him to walk up steps, but otherwise steer away from walls. And so if I arrive over here, he's supposed to be a little smarter. But for one thing, the steering is not very aggressive because it tends to just slow the mob down instead of turn, which is something we did to fix something else, right? But the other thing is, if we come over here and we try to have him arrive on the other side, he gets stuck on this. He gets stuck on this because although he's detecting he can step it up, the probe block is hitting this and telling him to slow down to almost nothing. So there are a couple of ways to fix this. One is to be a little bit smarter about this orange probe block, to not only pay attention to the fact that it hits something, but where it hits, so that if it's low at the bottom, we've sort of taken advantage of the fact that we had these different blocks as part of the probe shape to kind of shortcut, but it doesn't get us, unless we want to make really small probe blocks, there's always going to be cases where we still need to kind of detect where the collision happened. We can see that this little blue arrow right here is where we detected the collision. And then we shot an array down and said we could step here, but you see there's a purple thing that's sticking straight up, which means we are saying go 0 speed basically, or almost no speed. So that's not enough to make us rise up. So there's a lot that fixes this, and I'm not going to bother fixing it today. We could shift the probe shape a little. We could do better detection here. If we had the step up animation, like I was talking about, how the fact that I'm just detecting this situation is slowly making the thing levitate, that's not really what should happen. We should put in an actual step up operation where the movement goes into a different mode of not just walking, but actually stepping up here, which may also, be incorporated with some other animation. In this case, he might just fly up there, because Gafin can fly a little bit. Either way, I'm not going to fix that today, but it's better than it was, but now the Gafin are permanently not walking upstairs at the moment. So that is fine, though. That's not really what we're here today for. And we can get wrapped around the axle for a whole bunch of stuff if we're not careful. But it does mean that he doesn't make a very good example anymore, and I should probably be using the human female. I'm gonna make sure she doesn't suffer from the same problem real quick. Oops. I'm pretty sure her blocks are okay. Yeah, so she's gonna hit the same issue. That's right, because the orange block was conditional. Red blocks mean you actually have to steer away, and the Gafin doesn't have any red blocks, because the Gafin should be able to hop up even the full meter size. So that's why I I've got that a little wrong in my notes here. Actually, orange blocks should be conditionally blocking anyway. Anyway, so she's a better example, and I'm going to temporarily take that code out because she's already working like she's supposed to, and she's going to hit the same problem because her orange block is just slightly below the edge of this, which is the way I had designed it. So again, I have to relearn all of my mistakes, and so we'll put this here, which should mean that she can walk up these again. Let us try. Oh, well, she's not going to turn in time. Yeah, she's trying to walk up, though. Let's warp you over here. There you go. Okay, so yeah, she can walk upstairs again. That's not real pathfinding. It's just the probe navigation, which is always going to get stuck in places. That's what real pathfinding is for. Okay, so the reason I have her and not one of the flying things is because we want to make sure that whatever we do still works with her, and that's the current implementation we have anyway. All right, so if we remember from a bajillion years ago, it feels like, where we have these, we have this loop that tries all the directions. So it figures out the directions. We have already configured that each mob type has their own set of directions, so that mob types that can fly in 3D can already search all of the directions. I think that for each direction, the finding of the neighbor is pretty standard. The evaluation of whether we got there is pretty standard. The querying of contacts, let's presume, is pretty standard. Am I even looking at the right thing? Yes, I am. So, although no, maybe not, because so we query contacts for this body shape, which is that it looks like this, but all red. We did a little bit about that last time. But each mob type is going to have a different shape, which is already possible. That's what was keeping the Gafen from pathfinding up the stairs before when he had his own. But birds and things, they may query a little differently. I guess they'll query the same, but then how they evaluate those would be different, because they don't care about things they can stand on necessarily. It doesn't necessarily, they don't have to worry about whether they can step up on something or not. They just fly in 3D. So there's this whole section after the query, after the physics query, becomes a lot simpler. And so I think maybe what we do is there's some part of this that we want to extract out into its own kind of function that we run, and then based on whether it returns an exorbitant cost or not, this base cost multiplier, like if the cost multiplier is infinity or whatever, we can just skip it. So we could have a function that returns the neighbor. No, so we've already figured out what our neighbor is. So let's assume we've got. No, we're going to need the neighbor offset. So see, this is what I'm talking about. So we've got the neighbor, but each of these can add offsets. If it's up a ramp, we can say, you know, it's not the direct over, but we've got a ramp, so we need to set the neighbor up a little higher. So I still think this is the part that's pluggable. I just think it means we're going to have to return an object that has more than one thing in it. We might have to return the whole candidate, to be honest. And then if we return null, yeah, I bet that's what we have to do. Because the candidate will already have the cost in it. Yeah, so basically right up in here, and we'll return the candidate for that direction, and then if we return null, then that means there was no candidate in that direction. It's fully blocked, or we can't walk there for some reason, can't fly there for some reason. Like birds won't be able to fly down into the water, and fish won't be able to fly up into the air, for example, unless that's the kind of creature they are. So my nose is itchy, of course. All right, so I've copied that, and let's make a thing. So we had our path cell transform. Okay, so I'm gonna make a whole bunch of space right here so that we can just mess with this code for a second. We want to be able to take in let's see, it's going to need to know the path cell transform. It's going to need to know the path shape. It's basically going to need to know everything about the body config. So let's start making a class that's path candidate function. And it's going to need one of these. Oops. It's going to have this redundant body config. Boring typing, boring typing. So how's everybody's week been going? My son was doing lifeguard training this week, and it was supposed to be at this place just down the road, like 5 minutes from here, which is where his job will be. But that's outdoors, and because of the rain and the cold weather this week, we had to drive out to like somewhere that's like 30 minutes away. So every day at like 4:15, I had to drive him out there and drive back, pick him up again at 9:30. So it's been rough to find time to work on cool stuff like this. All right, so candidate is so we'll just say object for now. Yeah. And we're going to take in neighbor. We're not going to worry about what that is for the moment. Okay, so all of this we got from path shape is body config, path shape, shit. Okay, let's see. So we should still have all that stuff. I think we can... So that'll still have to be set shape view position, yeah. We'll have to visualize that a different way. But we can cut and paste this part up, I think, and then change it. So body config we have directly, we actually have the path cell transform directly. Path shape offset, character shape scale. Ooh. Did I really leave that? Son of a... Yeah, see, that is wrong. Every now and then I find something that I didn't parameterize when we were parameterizing the other stuff. So we are going to have to temporarily hard code that. Fix me. Again, I'm trying to leave more notes for myself. Okay, so all that's good. We have everything we need there. Dir info. .dir. Okay, so we're going to need another... We need to pass the dir info in. So we're going to need that. We might be able to just calculate the neighbor too. Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Let's just make that the parameter. But we'll need the starts. Okay, so then we won't have a log. I don't think. Yeah. So we'll just print line. Trying to take advantage of the foresight I had to have these debug statements in the first place. All right, so we can't do debugging like we used to. And we can't, yes, we can't. So that I'm going to leave in, but I can't do it. Because I'm pretty sure we don't use that path shape position for anything but, ooh, that's loud. Yeah, so we were just using that for debugging some stuff anyway. Yeah, okay. Too much to type. Yeah, well, see, the other thing is at work, you know, so I think ultimately almost everyone will be affected by the government cuts, because even if you're not directly working for the government, you might be working for an agency who works for the government, and so on and so forth. And so we had some news of some cuts coming our way. Although it was, at first, we thought the cuts were going to be more severe. So we have a bit of a reprieve at the last minute that maybe they're not going to be quite as bad. Still, it's no fun. I'm sure a bunch of you have had to deal with this. Okay, so there's all of our physics hits. But yeah, and at work, because I'm a people leader is what they call it, right? I have direct reports even though I don't work with them. It's weird. But so I got pulled into the pre-meeting meeting where we got briefed about this, but I was actually out taking my son to lifeguard training. So I saw the meeting invite. I knew what it was probably about, but I couldn't go, and so I just stressed for the whole hour that I was taking him there and driving back. And so then I got to watch the recording of it, but they started the question and answer stuff, and then they turned off the recording for the question and answers in case people were feeling self-conscious. And I'm like, but I wanted to see that. So then we had the real all hands the next day telling everybody what was what. So then I had questions to answer from people. All right, so that's all good. I think we have everything we need to do that except for the physics space. Okay, so we're going to need to pass in phys. And I think all of this can work just like it is for the most part. We can't create debug. All right. You know what? I'm going to copy all of this in for the moment. And we'll return next. Everywhere we return here, we return null. And then we'll go through kind of by hand and see what other dependencies I'm going to have to bring in. Are there any returns up here? No. So the unfortunate thing is that all this stuff I'm doing to make debug shapes and stuff, that's all going to be bogus. So I may need to be smart about that, because it's been tremendously useful to be able to see visualizations of what's happening. All right, so results we have. If it's not empty, we go through every one of them. We won't have a log. We should probably create a log. Static logger log equals logger factory dot get logger class. I wonder if I just save it, if it's gonna, oh, I've lost my, there it is. Yeah, so we got all kinds of neat. Yeah, candidate is a, we don't have access to candidate. That's going to be a little problematic. So I think we need to move this class over to path data. Oh, yeah, okay. That's all good. Let's see if this one's okay. Yeah. Okay, so we're still complaining about the one we couldn't do before. Okay. So we just need to import org slf 4j.star. Okay. Getting a little further. Color RGBA, so import com.jamie3.star.math.star. Oh, it compiled. That's amazing. Okay. So I think start is a vec3d or vec3i. We're good there. We don't have the state. we don't have a physics space either. So we will want that for now. Then we can do all of these things. So we can log, we can create things. We don't have the state. Let's, yeah, frick. I think we might have an issue here. All right, let's just, this is very incestuous. Yeah, because this is not a config thing, so we will not do that. We will pass that in, because we want to be able to reuse a config for all of the instances of a particular body type, and state is specific to a specific rigid body. It's like the extra state we're keeping because we're doing this scripting thing, and I can't just modify the driver itself. So we can do all of these things. We can do all of these things. Oh, that's good. Actually, we can turn this back into a log. All that's good. All that's good. That we can't do anymore. Hello, Lando Calrissian. How are you today? Alright, so these were path status. We will have to comment these out for now. We can actually reduce those down. Yeah, so that's going to be unfortunate. We really do want to be able to yeah, so that could change. Okay. Actually, this whole block is going to be a problem. Because we don't have these, we don't even have those flags over here. Those are defined in another script. So we can't do any of those debugging things here yet. I'll need to think of a way to make that happen. We're good here to get rid of those. Likewise, okay, we don't have a heuristic anymore. So that is going to fail. Okay, let me just see what blows up, if anything. Okay, so we can copy over this into its own method on the class. So we can make it this, turn it into a real method. That should work. Yes. Okay. Alright, so we've got this thing that hopefully I've converted correctly. Get rid of all these blank lines now. It's not really like parameterized because it's like all hard code is one big class, but what the point here is we can start defining what this interface looks like. And so we will put this in here. Path edit function technically we don't need this here anymore, I think. Well, I guess it is used to figure out the starting position, which is probably something else we'll need to make part of that function. Okay, so then where we create new body configs, oops. Okay, down here we need to, this is going to be problematic. Yeah, because body config, so like we have a chicken and egg problem here. We're trying to create a body config and pass that in, but that thing needs a body config. So I need to break the dependencies up here. Really, this, you know, I don't know. We're kind of flying by the seat of our pants here. Pass cell transform is probably not used outside of this. So let me see what we use body config for here. The path shape, which might only be used in this code. So let's see. Let's go over here. It's used in find path as well. Oh no, that is this. That is this. Yeah, so we only use it in here. In fact, so probably body config doesn't need that anymore. And we can just make path shape. So path shape, we can move these potentially to what is, oh wait, not probe. I'm going to move these up here. These are specific to how this guy does his job. We don't need a body config anymore, but we will pass these in. Boink. Alrighty. Path shape equals path shape. Path shape offset. Oop. Offset equals path shape offset. Alright, and then we need to fix body config to no longer take those. It is going to take a, yep, it's going to take one of those. It doesn't need to take this or this anymore. And so we don't need to set them anymore. Oh, we need to copy that. Turned out not to really matter. Ooh, I've messed things up. It's like the, yeah, because the constructors have all changed, so things are gonna mess up now. So then we don't need this anymore. What other body config stuff did we get? Nothing. Okay, so that's all good. And then here, instead of at the end, we need to create a new path thingy. And so here, oops, so that we'll put here. This we'll put here. And this we'll put here. Oops. Alright. And we shouldn't need these anymore. Okay, all kinds of problems. 99 problems. So that is, I need to do a similar thing here, and I can comment out the other ones for now. Okay, so all of that's the same. Human female probe 0.5. All that's the same. So we can just do this. I think that will fail in a different place, maybe. 583. Oh, in fact, we don't fail until right here. Oh yeah, that's the right place. So for the moment, I'm going to make all the other ones fail for a second. No such property path shape for class body config. Okay, so who's doing that? That is 1281. Yeah, because I moved it. So state body config path shape should now be state body config I'm just trying to figure out why I had that there at all. I think that's what that one time 2 live streams ago when I couldn't get the things to show, and so we were adding it all over the place. So what we want is path candidate function in here before path shape. Whoop, we're getting closer. Path shape on null object. 1281. Okay, so we didn't set the... Oh yeah, we didn't actually set it in here. It was telling me a legitimate error. Come on. All right. Okay, now nothing should have changed. Everything should still work the same as it did. Right? Because we're not actually using that yet. But that is what we were going to do next. And so we've got this method here, which we're going to go through here, and where we get the dir info, we are going to say next equals, actually it's candidate, next equals state.bodyconfig dot too many indirections path candidate function dot get candidate. We already grabbed Fizz. I think we grabbed them up here. Fizz and Ed. Yep, Fizz Ed. Haha, that's funny. State dir info start current. Why is this current.add and this one start.add? when I thought for sure I cut and pasted them. Where is it that we're logging in? Did I copy the wrong thing? Yes, I copied the wrong code. No, I have no idea. Maybe I just copied this. At any rate. Current is what we got. Okay, so that's all good. We got a compile failure. Yeah, next is already used. So we will comment out everything from here to here. And then, yeah. Don't want to pollute too much, but if next equals null, return. There was no candidate in that direction. Alright, let's see if she can still path find. So let's do a short path. Path to there. Oh boy. Ta-da! Oh, I love it when it blows up completely. Alright, so path actions, line 170. Oops. I've got this little wisp of hair that's state. Okay, so this has got a new indirection that we didn't notice because it wasn't a compile failure. So path candidate function dot. I'm going to keep this here. Path cell transform just to make sure there's not another one. There's one there. Okay, this isn't actually used anymore. That's all good. That's not. I mean, this is a sign of a major refactoring that's necessary. I'll leave that the same as it was. Yeah, we'll go ahead and, these aren't being used, but just in case. Okay, let's see. Let's see if it runs. Have my doubts. Okay, let's see. Start the simulation. Simulation. Boink. Okay, we've got her there. Center the camera. Ooh, we had an exception somewhere back there, or error. Oh no, it's just a binding problem. Okay. Alright, so now, path to here, is it going to blow up? No! Okay, step. Oh, that blew up, but at least it didn't crash the program. Okay, what did we blow up on? No such property, path shape for class body config, path actions, line 264. Okay. Yes. Why do you need the path shape, though? I don't think you actually need this anymore. Let us see. Okay, let's try again. Path to here. Nope. Okay, step. Okay, blew up in a different place. 323. what did we use bottom pos for? So this might be something we missed. Yep. Poop. So we need a bottom position. But only for some things. Sorry, I'm thinking. So that's me. I don't need to do that. Yep, got those, got those, got those. This should compile just fine. And then here we can temporarily fix this one to, well, I can temporarily put this back, I guess. That's, yeah, I think that should work. What a mess. All the debugging code is a mess. Step. Oh, we got a little farther. We got a little farther. Shape back off. Yes, that is true. We did not port that over. 153. Shape back off. Where did I get that? That is over here. Oh, it's just hard-coded. But that's going to be specific to the thing too, so... I mean, technically we are body config specific. I guess I mean that it needs to be parameterized. Okay, so this is what the next at least few minutes are going to be, is me finding the variables that I didn't port. So we do path to, and then we do step and see if it blows up. It does blow up, and then we figure out what else I missed, and we're going to do this over and over and over again until I get them all right. So driver. What on earth do we use driver for? Yes, to make sure that we're not contacting with ourselves. And so we will pass driver. And then over here, where we call this, we will also pass driver. We have to make it pluggable first, and then we can clean up the interface. But I need to start partitioning the code off into a place where I can swap it for different implementations. And then I'll understand a little bit better. Okay, so I'll understand a little bit better about what we need and where the dependencies are. Draw rel vectors. Okay, path candidate function. Yeah, so this is another one of those show issues. 191. Yeah, so these we can't do. I wonder if there's any more like that. Like there's this. Just double check. Here's another show contacts. See, we're going to have these debug things back, and that'll be like one of the next things I tackle, is getting all of our fancy debug stuff back. Okay, path to here. Step. Oh, we're still missing something. Log. No, you are wrong. 329. No. Okay, something else is wrong. Done something else wrong. 329. Oh, no such property goal. It's telling me the possible solutions. Yes, of course. Yeah, we're gonna need to know what the goal is. So another thing we've got to pass, which is not correct. These are all heavily implying that that this path candidate function is something I need to instantiate when I want to calculate a path. And so then we just need a factory, you know, that passes all the things from the body config or passes all these things to the, anyway. We just need a factory, and then we create one of these that's already got all the state built into it. But let's get it working first, because that's gonna be something I do on my own time. All right, let's try again. Path to here. Step. Oh, still missing something. It's like whack-a-mole. Candidate. Line 330. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. Oh, yes. I don't want you, don't want you, don't want you. Alright, candidate is definitely something we need to pass in. Ugh. So that's, yeah. Captain's log win. Oh, I see. I get you now. Alright, let's pass the goal, the candidate. Which is it's going to be a candidate. So that's going to, we need to, what a mess we are making, man. Oh, man. But again, this exercise shows us what the dependencies are. Okay, okay, we're still missing something. No such property key. Sum and a batch. 538. No, it's in a different. Yes. Okay, so candidate extend with location creates a child who has location, location. Okay, so this key def key equals next. It's right. That's what I said it to. Yes. Next dot location, I think. Because I'm just tracing this through. It used to be neighbor. Neighbor is passed through to extend. That's set as the location of a new candidate that it returns. So that should be the equivalent. Will it reach it? Will it get it? Yes! Okay. Alright. It goes down, though. I don't know why that happens. So there's something wrong there, and I think that that was wrong before. But she can't actually get to the path because for whatever reason it dropped down. Let me just confirm that that is not new behavior. Uh-oh. Alright, so we fixed key to be done a different way. So should be able to just do this. Okay, so let's see if she can path to here. Step. Oh, no. Okay. I want to be able to flip back and forth for a bit. Path to whirl a null object. Blah, 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 blah. Path action is 353. Path cell transform is not there anymore. It is underneath the path candidate function. And really, I need to come back over here and remove all these fields that don't mean anything so that I'll get... That's correct. It's this one that's not there anymore. Alright, let's try again. Path to here. Step. Oh. Okay. Again, I want to be able to flip back and forth. Path cell transform for class body config. Another case, 524. Yeah, so all of these need that in them. Hey, fortunately it was still in the clipboard. So let's just find them all. That one's been fixed. That one's been fixed, that one's been fixed, that one's been fixed. Oh yeah, I specifically didn't fix the ones that were commented out. That was dumb. Alright. Please try again. Okay. Nope, it's not new. It was broken before. Oh, but she made it. Okay, so let's make this switchable. So we'll say that's all good. We'll say candidate next if basically boolean new way, if new way, do it this way, else do it this way. Isn't this exciting? Truthfully, even when I have an IDE that auto-indents, auto-indents entire sections, I will still sometimes do it by hand because it's a way to kind of stop and think for a second. It's like, is this really what you want to do? Are you sure? that you want to indent one more time? Is there not another way you could have done this to not have indented yet another 4 columns? When will it be enough? When will you have enough columns? Okay, so we should be able to swap those with a flag now. Path to here. Step, 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 step. I think it just starts too high. Walk path. But then why couldn't she finish before? Oh, she does. She finishes. Maybe she was too close to the wall before. Okay, so we've got essentially equivalent functionality in a pluggable doohickey, the official technical term for what we're doing. Which means now we could mess with the butterfly. And we're halfway through the live stream. I think that's pretty good. So let's see if we can make a 3D. Okay, first we need to start defining the interface for this thing. So we've got this, which is the candidate. And right now, it's got this big honkin'. Oh, you know what? I haven't even dealt with the debugging problem yet. That's going to be an issue. Okay, so let's make this, implement this. We'll call this walk path candidate, blah, 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 blah. And then we will search for this. Oh. Oh, that's good. But here, yeah, we want to change it to walk and walk. So this should not have changed anything. Everything should still work like it did before. Step, 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 step. Why am I getting debug information? Oh yeah, we're not even ever getting there. But I don't think that's a problem with what I just did. Maybe though. Oh no, she got there. Okay. But why is it creating all of that debug stuff? Maybe there's some debugging after this. It is. Oh, it's Control M. Never mind. Yeah, so this is the show path markers. That's why. We're not showing all the contact stuff. We're just showing where we've been. That's fine for now. In fact, we could, instead of returning null candidates, we could return a candidate that's just got an infinite cost, and then we use that to decide to draw something. But I think I may actually add a sort of stats collector or debug collector thing that we can pass to that get candidate function so that it could report sort of the things it tried. But what was I doing? Yes, we were parameterizing this and pulling it out and so on. Yeah, so like this, all of these cases where I have these, yeah, see, then we don't need the ED, we don't need the entity data passed. So we could just have like a add rel vector, show rel vector, show contact. This says the arrow color. Yeah, for now we could continue to use the arrow color, show blocker. So anyway, we could add like a class we pass that does these things. I think that all of our entity data, so we don't need to pass entity data anymore. We can fix that. Uh-oh. Maybe we do. Maybe we do. Oh, whoa, oh no. It's this. That's right. Okay, and then over here, where we call it, don't pass it anymore. We can start reducing our dependencies. Yeah, so I think that's ultimately what I'm going to want to do. And I actually think that, yeah, I don't think it's going to be type specific, but okay, so let's work on making the bird version. And at least initially, no, I'm going to definitely want to fix the debugging stuff. So let me grab all of these and temporarily, I'm going to come over here and I just want to clip out everything but it just occurred to me I'm probably going to want some context. So show blockers. Oh yeah, all the path entity stuff. Okay, so what we want is we want something like interface. What do I want to call it? Let's just call it candidate debug. And ooh, oh, that's right. Okay. This editor is old. They don't update it anymore, as far as I know. Anyway, I haven't checked recently, but I'm pretty sure the guy who wrote it doesn't update this anymore. And it has this weird sort of glitch that when you create a new file, even though I have the default type set, I have the default file type set to 4 space tabs. It'll do these 8 space tabs, and like you could go in here and you could set the file mode to default, and then it'll pick it up. So there's just like some kind of state bug. But then as soon as you do that, it saves a copy of the file even though it's not saved, because it keeps track of, in a like metadata file, an invisible metadata file, it keeps track of the settings you have for a particular file. That part's kind of cool, but the fact that it's got that bug is not so cool. Add rel vector. Who would ever want 8 spaces? Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's one thing if you set your tab stops to that. That used to be the standard, right? 8 tab stops were 8, and then you do 4-space indents. So like under like the old days with VI and Emacs, it was just crazy because you'd have 4 spaces, and then the next line, if it was indented more, would be a tab, and so you'd have like tabs and spaces, which I just find so crazy. Oh, that Pepsi's almost gone. Okay, so so this one's going to have bottom, pass, and rel vector. And that's what it needs to do its job. Okay, that's all good. The next one is we're going to need add contact, and I think we can just pass the contact and let it, in the arrow color. Oh, I'm probably going to want to have kept that code. Hold on a second. Because I'm going to want to steal those for the default implementation. Okay. In fact, let's make a... Let's do this differently. Let's take this over here. We'll temporarily define this over here, because then we can define the class default candidate debug, which has implements candidate debug. It has an entity data. And we'll give it its state. Okay, so then we can start just building these methods. And then we'll make sure we've got what we want. Okay, so so we'll set these up still so we have flags, but they'll be inside this class now. Blockers. I'm sure you guys recognize the fact that one of the reasons that this, I think anyway, one of the reasons this stream has been entertaining at all is because we have debug information and you guys can kind of see what's going on. I mean, the fact that I had a request to make the wireframes bigger means that you guys are looking at the stuff and trying to see it. And certainly from a debugging standpoint, this stuff is critical. So yeah, so we'll do this, and we'll just copy this all into here. Yeah, that's the fun part. Every IDE wants to do control right and left a little differently. Every editor. So contact debug is when we create here, we add it to the path entities. All that's good. Rel vector, bottom pass, all good. Technically, I could have also done this, which is probably better, because again, why have all those indents if you don't need them? I'm a big fan of early returns, by the way, and that makes me be able to do this. we're programming in modern languages with a finally clause, you can do early returns without worrying about it. So there's other thing. This editor is this cool feature is if you right click to drag, it'll do these. It'll do those kind of blocks, which is kind of nice. And you can cut and paste them that way too, which is cool. I don't think I've found any other editor that will do that. Certainly not as conveniently. Okay, so then we can say void add blocker. And blockers will need, well, it's mostly doesn't have any of this stuff. It's just got that. So add blocker, probably, yeah, def neighbor. Please won't you be my neighbor? And then what do we do? We're just creating a box of a certain size, red color. That's all we needed. And so then, actually I can come in here and I can go doink. I can just get rid of all these at the same time. Doink. Doink. Oh, is there two different path entities? That's what it is. That is what it is. So we keep track of keep track of the global path entities because when we reset the scripts, we want to delete everything. But when we reset the path for a particular body, we only want to reset its. So there's like a state path entities, and then there's a regular path entities. And I think then we need to do things like to make sure they all get cleaned up. And so that's why there was all these add all stuff. But I think we can just do this. Alright, so if not show blockers, return. Otherwise, we will state dot body config dot path candidate function dot path cell transform. Look at that. It's just awful. So blocked position we just calculated. Yeah, so we've got everything we need. And this. Okay, public void add can't stand. I can't stand losing. I can't. Oh, create debug shape. Oh, create debug shape. Oh, woe is me. Alright, I'm going to leave that for now. So we will want, again, the neighbor. Like Mr. Rogers. We like our neighbors. Excuse me. We were going to need to do a similar thing to here, which is ugly. Yeah, this is why I do this, because I don't know what this one is. We could have just done debug shape equals and then we could add debug shape, which is arguably a little cheaper than, well, probably a lot cheaper than always combining two sets. So then we can just copy this. Don't need that, don't need that. There we go. Alright, and then void add no floor. And same deal. Same as it ever was. Okay, nope, we're going to want to do the same thing. I can't stand losing. I can't. Debug shape. Oh, just add. That's going to confuse the hell out of it. Add. Okay, so that's a, let's see if it compiles. Did I screw something up? Okay, it compiled. Oh, we still need to create debug shape. It's gonna, classes don't have access to the global space. And so shape helpers is where, no, there it be. There it is. Create positioned entity. Oops. Okay, so that maybe is over here. Nope. Nope. Did I put that in system helpers? Yep. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll be crappy and we will, oh boy, we will build these as methods into here. Protected entity ID. If entity component. Oh, this has got a bunch of problems. Okay, that's fine. Okay, good. Not as bad as I thought. Okay. And then we want to look for this one. Oh, it's in here. Okay, so maybe we just want to change this to create positioned entity, but only in these guys. Replace, cancel. Alright, so this should be okay. Let's see if it compiles. It got no complaints. Okay, so now we need to add these methods to the interface, which is just a matter of a transform. Did I take? I took the whole method. Okay, so those are still the same. Alright, so this we can move over to, that should complain that it's missing an interface. Yep. So if we come over here, we ought to be able to define this up here. Okay, click that. Just make sure this can compile now. Yep, has access to the class. Good, good, good. And then we will pass one of these into our whatchamacallit, candidate debug. Okay, and so then down here, in all of these things I commented out, we say add, I call it add rel vector. I'm going to flip back and forth for a second. Add rel vector, bottom pass rel vector. Okay, so candidate debug needs to be set to something though. We need to pass it in. So let's do this. Can't have an abstract method in a non-abstract class. Oh. Got to add this to the interface too. That's the problem. So I talked about how to get the implementation straightened away before I did the interface, and this is the problem we come up with. Is we're still refactoring the get candidate method. Always a good time. Always, always, always. So path actions. We can make this a part of the driver, but for now we will be bad people and we will burn CPU cycles creating it every time. Okay, we've got ED, we've got state, and we should have path entities as well. Let's see if that compiles. It do. All right. It definitely does. All right. Okay. Boink. All right. Now, let's see what we broke. Step. We broke all kinds of stuff. Look at that. Okay, no such property bottom pass. And body config 202. Except we have it right. Oh, bottom. Be careful of spelling. I don't know if you guys can see this, but one of those says bottom pass, and the other one says bottom boss. If you're going to make typos, make sure you make a typo where the letters are so similar that you'll breeze right by it. And if you're going to make typos, cut and paste the code like 50 times. Okay, so we've got rel vectors now. I think. Oh no, I think I have that turned off. Anyway. No, we're getting the little green rel vectors. So yes, that's what those are. Okay. So that's all good. Let's finish converting. I think it's safe to just remove this because it wouldn't have worked anyway. And so similarly, we need candidate debug dot. Each letter should have a different color. 26 different colors. Then it'd be like, well, if you're going to make a typo, make sure you do two colors that are very similar to each other. Oh, so I screwed up over here. Oh, you guys do not know the level of Pavlovian conditioning I have to when I finish a Pepsi, I really want to pop a piece of gum. Because that's my normal thing. I think it's contact point. When I finish a Pepsi, I chew a piece of gum because that I can stretch out a piece of gum for almost an hour sometimes. Okay, I think good. We think good. Let's see. All right, so add contact, add blocker neighbor. Okay, cool. Add contact. CN came from contact. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is all of the contacts. So let's try that. Path 2 here. Did I break something? Blink. Yes, I did. So it's good to do these one at a time. Oh, I didn't do the color. All right. It was literally right there. Step. Whee! No property arrow color. Oh yeah. I was smart and I changed the name, but then I didn't change the name. Boink. I think that's good. Me think we'll fix. Step. Hey, check it out. We get little contacts. Step, step, step. We can tell that those are real because if we go here, we called those path contacts. So we find path contacts here. Path contacts, we can turn them off. So those are those. And then the other ones were rel contactors. Contactors down here. So we can see those are indeed there. Normally I had those turned off, but we're testing everything right now. Okay, so that's working. And we can do the next one. And get rid of this. We got it all. So this is add blocker. And it's just neighbor. Okay. Let's see if working. These will be called path status. Okay, so currently we have no path status. If we path to here, and we do step, now we should get a path status as soon as it tries to walk into one of these walls. There we go. Oh, check it out. Yeah, path status. So path status is those little red squares that talk about we can't walk in that direction. You can kind of see them through the... Here, there you go. You see them down here. They're semi-transparent when you can you kind of see them through the walls. You see little ghosts of them. Lots of debug information. We like lots of debug information. Okay, so next. Delete you. No, I can't stand over here. Add can't stand. If you guys have never heard that Police song, that won't make any sense at all. Okay, path to there. Step. What are we looking for? Oh, it's more path status, and this is stuff we can't stand on. Yeah, so we can't stand up here. So this is the path status. We didn't have those up there. Oh, it's different. Is it? Path status, path status. These would have been red. They're all red. Okay. So I'm not sure. Oh, I bet so let's make sure clearing works. Okay, it does. Okay, so if we warp her up to here, and then try to path to over here, then she'll have some places where she can't walk off the edge. Yeah. So those are all path status. Yeah. Different size blocks than walking inside of things. But hopefully she'll eventually make her way over. Actually, we never tested this. So just let's verify that she will make it. Yep. Okay, cool. Alright, then I'm going to warp you down here so we can finish testing down there. One more, I think. Yep, add no floor. What's the difference between can't stand and no floor? No floor. Nowhere to stand even though we had contacts. Okay. So that's more like, yeah. Alright, well, anyway. I'm not going to overly think it, because I think I had most of these turned off anyway. Add no floor. This is the one. We should have gotten little teeny squares. Because these used to be... Yeah, so this is the thin, tall box. I deleted that one, so I can't tell it from here, but... yeah, so that's just a square box that you're inside the wall. This is a tall, thin box. This is a teeny, tiny box. So if we try again from up here, warp up here, center on you, and then path to here. And then step, 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 step. Yeah, I'm not sure where the little ones come in. Could be they've been superseded. Oh, we got them here. See? These little teeny... Yeah, so what we did was we found that there was no place to stand here. So we added a big block, but then we also projected down and found that, like, literally there was no place to stand there. That's my guess. Because we got those little things. Anyway, can she walk this path? I'm just curious. Looks like it. Yep, she made it. Alright. Center on you. Actually, let's move you back down. Alright, so we got that done. Debug information's all back like it used to be. That's more or less. That means that over here we can turn off some of these things, because I think some of these so we weren't drawing rel vectors before, but everything else we were. So we ought to be able to come in here and turn these to false, because those are very verbose. All right. We got all of our debugging back. Now we can start making the flying version of pathfinding. So what we will do is copy this, call it fly path candidate function, and come in here and change these constructors. Constructor. Okay. So then we will fix the butterfly down here. That's the small flyer. To use this. And don't worry, I'm going to change the names. So this is fly. And this is small flyer path. Oh, and we need the whole thing. We can't just steal that. And the offset is nothing. That could be why it was having trouble. And then this breaks the world into quarters in all directions. So don't need that. This should work. Okay. Now, if we actually used, if we create the butterfly, because that's the small flyer, we create the mob here, center on it, zoom in, and we do path to here, it's still going to be using the same pathfinding, right? Because it's a new implementation, but it's not doing anything new. So it's not going to fly anywhere. In fact, it's divided the world up into teeny tiny chunks, so it takes it a long time to search the same area. But honestly, a butterfly would never path this way, right? Butterflies fly pretty randomly. It's more likely they would pick a direction and see how, just fly in that direction. Okay, so this is working. I probably should have put the goal a little closer. Let's turn off some of these bigger ones. I think that should make it a little faster. Yeah. Step. And we can still see what we want. What are all these? Oh, what is that? That's not right. Yeah, so the butterfly is actually doing bad things. He's not detecting that he can't fly through the ground. Or something to that effect. What are those? Yeah, don't. That's bad. That's bad. So there's something wrong with his calculation. I wonder if he's even going to be able to find his path. I should have put something closer. I guess I still could. Oh, he's getting there. Will he make it? Man, it's so frustrating when they're right there. I probably need to mess with the heuristic a little bit. Yeah, so he's not actually going to make it. For whatever reason, he's looking for love in all the wrong places. Yeah, so we've got way too much of this crap going on, whatever's going on there. So let's clean the path. Let me check her, make sure she's not doing the same thing. Step. Nope, she's got pretty... See, it's showing kind of the direction it used to get there. Eventually they should pretty much be well connected. The fact that the butterfly was doing it, yeah, so she's not even... That's because she's stepping down. So the butterfly was actually searching in those directions, thinking it could travel that way, which means that the shape it's using... Let's clean her path. Let's try path to here again. What shape is it using? Oh, it's not going to draw it because I have that commented out, right? Because it's not doing hers either. Yeah. So there used to be... that's one thing we didn't fix. In here, there is... this thing. Yeah, I just turned it off. Is that what I did? Because it had these indirections I didn't want it to... I didn't want to add them at the time. Okay, so let's put this back for a second. And let's make sure she's going to work. So it's what's supposed to do is it's supposed to show us the shape it's using to, yeah, so that's this thing down here. I was not putting it in the right place at all. Yeah, it's not moving it. So there was something else. Problem is I don't remember which one I commented out. This might not have been the right one. In fact, it probably wasn't, because that would have been fine. This one. I commented out this. In the other. So shape pass, which is based on neighbor. Alright, we are going to do bad things by if I just want to have this blocked out because I'm doing bad things. Okay, so we grab the neighbor, we grab the base brush. Do we need all this? Shape plus blah 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 blah. Shape plus. And then we set it. And yep, we still have access to those. Okay, nope. Is this going to compile? Alright, let us see if this is correct. Path to here. Step. Okay, so yeah, it's showing that that at the like last place it checked. Okay. Yeah, okay, so that just shows us what the collision shape would be. And so if we do path to here, we can see what the butterfly's using as its collision shape. Okay, it is. It's just using this little guy. But why? See, this is one thing I have on my list of to-do is to fix this to be the same size as that. This big pink guy is showing us what our current position is that we're searching out from, and it should match the collision shape in my opinion. So why did he drop down for all of those? The other thing is when I was playing with the butterfly before, and so let's clean his path and warp him up here, and I did a path to here. He was able to navigate, but then he like flew up and down. This is going to take forever. Path to here. Step. If he makes it at all. I don't think so. I think he's... Something got screwed up and it's not even working as well as it was before. It was broken before too. Yeah, so here. Like for whatever reason, he flies up and down. And that doesn't make any sense. His collision box is way too big. Oh no, that's a quarter size. Yeah, I mean it technically is, but we've divided the world into quarters, and that's why that's that size. So what is going on? So this is where we do some debugging, right? Well, we want to simplify his logic anyway. So maybe now is the time we simplify. Oh, we're almost done too. Oof. Oof. As my kids would say, oof. Okay, so we get the candidate. We've got a direction. Let's debug why we are not getting the contacts I think we should get. So we log. So let's clean the path. Cancel. Uh-oh. Okay, so cancel doesn't work. That's okay. I wanted to reset anyway. Okay, let's at least get the butterfly function, pathfinding function, gutted and doing 3D things. It's trying, but it's got all the standing logic and all that other crap that we don't need. So let's at least gut it so that it's fully searching in 3D. Yeah, things are slow. That's not a good sign. Okay, so put you down here. Doink. Center on you, drill in. I love that center button. I wish I had done it sooner. I know I talked about it like a ton. Okay, so just make sure we're editing the right one because I haven't committed any of this. So if we comment all of this out, then it should just let everything through. Land, no land, all of it. Right? And so then, if we path to here, it should just step. Yeah. So yeah, he's going in all directions regardless. And the only reason I think, yeah, so now see, he's like not even querying correctly, not getting collisions with the ground. But he's a air, land, sea fish now. He can swim through all of it. So this is what 3D pathfinding looks like with no collisions. Right, he can go in all directions. Will he actually get to where he's trying to go? And why? Why, oh why, does he not ever find the thing he's trying to get to? Right, he just about hit it directly. This reminds me of like some 1990s version of what like a computer data looked like or something. So it did find it eventually. But way the hell up here. At least it was straight. Okay, so we definitely have different pathfinding functions. I need to figure out why the contact. So let's see if let's do some debugging. Path to here. So what happens when we step the first time? Step. Okay, so it got a bunch of contacts. So for now, let's just say if not results is empty, we got contacts, then we'll go through each of them so that we can add the debug stuff, right? All contacts are going to be considered the same here. Everything's a blocker. and then return null. Okay. So that should prevent him from flying into the ground, though I think he might already think he's in the ground, which could be the problem. So let's path over to here. Step. Okay, nope. Okay, we're good. We're blocking like we should. So he can fly no problem in all directions. Everything is equal as far as he's concerned. I don't know why the... Oh, I do know why. These arrows are so bizarre because they're not taking the size into account for the... like the world is divided up differently and they're still treating it all like half blocks. So they're not using the parameterized thing. I'll need to fix that. Okay, so it's working in principle, right? He's not going through the ground anymore. He doesn't care what type of contact it is. He's just going to, yeah. So then he ought to be able to, like if we put him here and we path to here, in theory, he can path directly up the wall. Right, let's center, zoom in a little bit. Step, 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 step. So in theory, he can just path right up the wall. And it's good because 3D full 3D flyers need to have simpler logic because they have much more of the world to explore. We'll also kind of need to bottom them out at a, you know, sort of a certain iteration where it won't continue past like 1,000 iterations or something. It gets crazy, or several thousand iterations. But he should find his way up there. So let's confirm. He won't be able to fly it yet because the movement for the butterfly doesn't let him fly. He still walks on the ground. But let's see if it'll at least path up there, right? Oh, good lord. Probably should set a higher iteration go. Oh, he's getting there. Let me turn these off. Oh, that's kind of cool too. Yeah. This is just a lot of data to display, and if I turn it off, it goes much faster. So he's still exploring all of his options. I need to re-look at why. I think it's cost related, right? The balance between heuristic and cost is so balanced that he wants to search all of the paths. Because when we set it too high, it ignores some paths, and that's a problem too. But there's a balance. Getting really close. I can see it. So flying creatures may need to tweak their heuristic. Oh, we can do that. All right, so let's turn these guys back on. The heuristic, we can tweak the heuristic per type now, right? So these. So we could do distance squared here. Is that what I used to do? Yeah. Distance squared. So but why is that better? I think, doesn't that make it the cost worse? No, higher is, I don't know, we'll see. I confuse myself sometimes. Okay, step, step, step. Yeah, he's gonna head straight there now. A flying thing doesn't necessarily have the time to explore all of the paths. He's moving. It's still not going as fast as maybe I would have liked, but I think it is going faster. Like, it's zeroing in on the target rather than try all the back options. Come on, you can do it. We want to see this, and then we'll end it. You're close. You're so close. Oh my god. I kind of wanted to see the single steps to get there, but we could have sped it up by increasing the iteration count, but... Oh boy. Come on. You can do it. You're almost there. You're almost there. It's going so slow. Here, I'll turn on the stats so you can see. We're getting like... Oh, we're getting a whole 1 frame a second. Oh, man. There we go. Look at that. It finally did it. So that butterfly figured out that he could fly straight up and over. Now he won't. Like if I try to walk that path, he's just going to go crazy trying to go up. He can't because they don't allow. He's not allowed to fly yet. But all right, I think that's good progress. We've got it pluggable, which means every different type of creature could potentially have its own pathfinding logic. And I think this is that is about right. Probably the heuristic could be tweaked a little more to be a little more direct, because I think flying things would be more direct. A bird is not going to fly around a maze, you know what I mean? It's not going to figure out that it can fly all the way back and, around the back corner. He's just going to, I want to go there, I'm going to go there. Same with a butterfly. So anyway, we're going to call it there. I think that's a pretty good progress. That's sort of where I wanted to end last week, so it only took an extra hour. But that's okay. Sometimes we have to give ourselves permission to to take longer. Thanks for joining, everyone. All of the things. And like, comment, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It does matter. And then you'll get notifications in YouTube about all the cool things. And all that sort of things. And if you're not a patron, consider becoming a patron, even if it's just to become a member, or even a non-paying member, just to follow the project. I don't post anything there, but I will start at some point. And that's loud. I'm going to turn the music off. So anyway, thanks for joining. I will see you guys next time. Yeah, next week we should be fine. All right. Next week should be Friday, normal time, same bat channel. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks.